So you guys left some comments. I asked for comments and questions so I could make videos about it. So I take it that this is okay, that I read this comment. Hi, I'm a torture survivor. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to address that. And I found your channel earlier this year. I saw some wild shit when it happened to me, and I've been trying to understand it more by learning meditation. I love your drawings, they've helped me a lot. My mind is really difficult to relax still, I think. Much love, brother, and keep creating. So thank you. A warm hand of applause to X Warslayer X Meme channel for sharing. And of course, for your past, maybe there's some free help in your country. In my country, if you come up and you explain I'm a torture survivor, you probably get a free therapist very, very quickly. So maybe you have something similar where you're from. Also, wanting to learn meditation is a great idea because that's the deepest level. That's at the level of the self and the solipsism nature of experience. So it's going to allow you to go very deep and not just heal yourself in terms of getting better, but also like getting it real good. And so yogic approach here to do Kriya is just intuitive movement that helps you release. And also there are specific movements for tension release in terms of past trauma that you're carrying in your body. Now, if you got suddenly a Kundalini awakening, these would happen naturally. And if you have a lot of tension built up inside, you would probably spurg out on the floor. So considering that you're walking down this path, the perfect entry for you would be to go to those trauma release exercises. Sometimes it's tapping on your shoulder so that your shoulders, they become more sensitive and learn to relax and stuff like that. So you get rid of those high shoulders, protecting your jugular as a primal response to have been under stress. Many soldiers, when they return from war, because of the space between their helmet and their flak jacket, they have to have high shoulders when they're out in the field. So this helps, elite soldiers. They're very good people. They just have a tiny little bit of PTSD to help them relax. So we got you. Technology has got you here. And just seek out the information, seek out the therapy. Hey, maybe you get to go to some cool group or some cool retreat where it's like people who are stressed out, war veterans with PTSD, and they get you sorted out with some nice, basically a yogi routine that's like the best yogic routine you could have, and you take it from there. And then you add the Hatha yoga and the Kriya yoga and the pranayama into that. But right now, try to take it step by step. I'm gonna get into it. So that's like for the torture survivor stuff. I mean, look, we could also mention ayahuasca. Lots of people are doing this thing today where they travel to Peru, because what ayahuasca does is that it puts you in touch with your body very much. All of these kind of entheogenic, it means seeking the God within, right? They're of course going to make you super aware of your own body as a room and a presence. And you might start naturally doing tension release exercises. And then, of course, make sure to remember those and keep doing them, because it's probably good for you. It's what your body gave to you. So it's basically an inner teaching. This one is for you. But don't do that unless you're solid. Don't do it unless you can do it legally and therapeutically and under good circumstances. And worst, I don't like it when they make it very illegal and very risky for people when it clearly helps. But just seek out the information about this and figure it out. Hey, for all I know, maybe you live in Amsterdam and you can do this legally. Maybe you live in Peru, you can do this legally. You just don't get yourself into trouble, man. Just get yourself what you need, get better, and go further and ascend, basically. You know, when I started out, I also found it difficult to relax. And for me, meditation, I was lucky because I grew up with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. You always see like Ryu on like the arcade opening of Street Fighter. He's seated in meditation, and then he just jumps up in the air and crushes some vases that was full of water, because that was his karate training or something like that. So it's like very epic to meditate. So I was lucky right there. And then it became martial art because I got into Taekwondo as a kid. And I actually learned to meditate following the instructions of a black belt named Cho Von Soop from the nearest city. And he was some kind of big deal guy in the World Taekwondo Federation, Taekwondo, so at least where I was living. So that's supposed to be very significant, very good lineage, I suppose. And then I went into psychology, learning psychology, and we had to learn studies on mindfulness. And as part of that, we did a mindfulness course, and that kind of stuck around. And then I did Jordan Peterson, and he talked about effective work time. How long do you work effectively and efficiently before efficiency goes down? Now, I had some very particular learning disabilities, and I figured out that, like, Jesus, 5 minutes, that's when it starts to slow down for me. And so what I did was that I put in a minute, just 1 minute of mindfulness, and then I would read. So I would go MMA, mixed martial arts rounds, read psychology for 5 minutes, and then relax mindfulness with trying to not think, just focus on my breath, and just stay absorbed in my breath and don't create any thoughts, which is impossible. You know, you're going to have some thoughts, but just try to more breath, more awareness of the breath for 1 minute, and then back to reading. 5 minutes of reading, then back to doing that. And I would do that twice for 5 times 5 rounds, you know, professional UFC MMA 5-round bout, you know. And then I would have a longer 30-minute break, because I'd been keeping maximum efficiency for so much I would basically just pass out. And then I would get that 30-minute, 15-minute, 10-minute mindfulness break there. And that was the beginning of how I started becoming really good at meditating, because I began basically hallucinating. You know, I started seeing these fractals and these typical psychedelic imagery. But, and this is very important, I had not done psychedelic drugs. I had not taken any psychedelic plant medicine. I was just completely sober. Only meditation. Not even once before, unless you count like nutmeg in your Christmas mulled wine. Then absolutely, you know, just complete psychedelic virgin. So you don't need it. You don't need it. You can access it with meditation. It's a power within you. So that's just want to say that. And I guess for you, to kind of, one way to release tension in the neck and throat area is pranayama, fire breath, because it makes you, there are many movements you can do with that one, and they all shake up that area, and they shake up your entire body by taking in and out breath very rapidly, because it's like hush, 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 you know. And so that's something that you should look into, that fire breath. I think that would be good for you. I'm trying to suggest things that would do 3 things at the same time and just take you less than 5 minutes, so you can do it every day and immediately see improvements, right? This is a tailored, looking at your needs kind of thing I'm giving you right now, right? Other 5-minute practices is just hold still and feel balance, you know, because that's gonna make you feel centered, that balance, if you just hold still and feel it, whether you're seated in a cross-legged, seated in a chair, or just standing. You know, many of these Tanka arts pictures of the chakras, when you look at the crown chakra, there's a footprint inside of it, because he's feeling the balance of standing on his feet all the way to the top of his head. So that's something you could do. I've done that. I've had great success with that. Very good. But especially take that tension away first, because it's going to make it so much stronger for you. Look at a white wall. 5 minutes can do every day. Just 5 minutes, a commercial break. That's all you need. Just sit or lay down, trying to not think, which is impossible. You're not going to get it, but it's okay. Just try to not think, or judge that you're trying to not think and then you're failing at it. Just try to not think. What you should do instead is focus on your breath, okay? You're going to have some thoughts. It's okay. You're only going to do this for 5 minutes. This is just a taste to help you get into that call. Or just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Remember, I started with 1 minute. I'm doing great. There's nothing wrong with starting with just 1 minute. And chakras, so chakra humming, like lam, and then feel that area, vam, then feel that area, ram, then feel that area, and just go up, da 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 da, like that. And it's super short, super good, very nice. It's gonna give you what you need, okay? And furthermore, you're saying time didn't matter when my awareness was outside my body. I saw my own future. I was more intrigued instead of scared when it happened. But don't get me wrong, it was definitely scary. You see, this guy, what I sensed about him is that he was an astral projector. Many people who get put in a spot where it's very stressing and they can't get away start to disassociate, and then they astral project. It's especially common in extreme scenarios like that. For example, people who jump off their boat crashes and goes down, and then they're stuck in the Pacific and they're just floating in the water. Many of those start to hallucinate. Many of those people start to astral project. It's called like near-death experience at that point. Very common, very common. So I asked him about that. It seems to be astral projecting. This seems to be a very typical, this is a legit out-of-body experience he's had. So in the community post, there's a rocking chair exercise that I posted with a link to a Theravada monk who actually gives the same advice and has the same type of astral projecting as you've experienced. You should definitely check that out, man, because it's tailored to you. It's like you were destined to come to this channel right now and get this fantastic advice, and maybe we could jumpstart your fantastic career. Because I tell you something, when you first get this and you've come as far as you've done, you should definitely keep going. You want to keep going. You don't want to stop. Please don't stop. This is very rare. I'm not saying it's real, but say that reincarnation was real. Oh, dude, you're talking 1,000 years before you get a life like this. 1,000 years before you get a shot at this kind of level of liberating your consciousness and ascending your consciousness. I would not throw it away. I would double down. I would go hard if I was you. But it's motivation. But you have the groundwork, because now it's real. And then it's the pleasure of it. Now it's moving up from the foundation of Muldhara to the sensuality and pleasure of it, which is Swadhisthana, and make yourself pleasurable. But then from that motivation, you're actually going to have to take action and go into that Manipura energy, which is easy when you like it. But sometimes it can be very hard. So for that, I actually there's no faster way than learning pick up arts, picking up chicks, or flirting and going on dates. There's no that kind of self-improvement energy for 1 year is like 5 years of yogic practice on the Manipura chakra. I'm not saying you should do that. It's just a suggestion. It's something I've done and I find to be because it's like walking up to a woman who's attractive in a club. That's like how many ustrasanas do you have to keep for 5 minutes before you match that level of willpower? Because everything is like, fuck no, I don't want to do that. And then you just relax, you focus on your balance, and then you walk up to her and say, hi, what you do? You know, and it's that kind of thing right there. Making that decision is so, you know, it's going to help you in ways you can't even when you're moving even further up, right? So that's something really good. Of course, you have to get rid of blockages. Like there's a self-denial blockage that comes with dreams. That everybody can understand. When you wake up in the morning, you know you had a longer dream and lots of stuff happened. Memories vanish, and it's like, I guess that was just something that lasted 3 seconds, because it feels like it lasted 3 seconds, because my memory has been almost like, if not really wiped, it has been compressed. And so you get to this thing where your dream just becomes forgotten. That can be kind of helped with a dream journal and unpacking it back again. And like, think of it as being compressed into a zip file and then using the dream journal to unpack it again. So you get the actual length of the experience. And yeah, straight up miracles, man. Straight up miracles. I saw many miracles, and I just was like, yeah, that was a strange thing that just happened. I guess I'm not gonna care too much about that. Let's go pay the bills, you know? Because it's like we live in this mundane world, but even when something really strange happens, it's like, yeah, so what? Let's go pay the bills. So that's a blocker that can really, you know, it can stop you psychologically, because now you don't get the manifestation effect of the faith, because it's blocked. Because even though you see something mysterious and profound happen, you won't acknowledge it. So be on the lookout for that one. And of course, Gateway Experience. You gotta get into the Gateway Experience because it's a training program for astral projecting, and it's the best one out there. It's the best one out there. It's just the way it is. So why should I do some other meditation before I've done that one? And sometimes I do it in the morning. I get up extra early. I get in the Gateway, sneak it in there. Other times I do it early in the night, and I actually listen to the whole thing to make sure that I understand what's being asked of me. And then sometimes I do it right when I go into bed, and you know, sometimes I almost fell asleep and then I astral. You can have some, because you're mixing it with that sleepy energy, and then you can have some cool effects, you know. So that's a good one. Furthermore, X-War Slayer X Meme channel says, pretty sure this was the first video I saw. Yeah, and he posts a link to the video where I talk about one of my out-of-body experiences, and it was legitimate per definition. The definition, classical definition of out-of-body experience. So it's a very good video because it makes a distinction between astral themes and out-of-body themes. Astral means starry, right? So you see these kind of weird translucent things that is like emitting light, and while a out-of-body experience is like you see the room where you're resting in, but your vision is much clearer because you're not watching with your eyes. I'm nearsighted. I was sleeping with a sleep mask blocking my view. I got out of body. I saw my room. I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing lenses. I've forgotten to remove my contact lenses. I need to take off my contact lenses. Then wake up in my body, realize that I have taken off my contact lenses and that I'm actually wearing a blindfold. So you know, it's a classical out-of-body experience. So it's a very good video because it has clear definitions, And it teaches bottle breathing, which is something you can do if you're on your back, just relaxing, and it will take you through the line, and you'll feel the expansion all the way to your perineum. So it's going to take you through those chakra areas. For the chakras in the eyes and above, focus on breathing out through your nose, and it makes a little swing in the nostrils, and focus on that going up into the center of your brain. Then you can make a good line all the way down to your perineum and all the way up to the top of your head. And you can also stretch out your arms and legs and let the expansion of the breath just make you a little taller, and so you can feel it even in your arms and your legs. It's very good. It's all good. It's something you could do for 5 minutes every day. So it's not that big of a hurdle to overcome if you want to get into meditation. That's why I'm just trying to blast you with a ton of information, and what you like is going to stick, and you're going to try it out. And maybe you come back later to this video and you try again. Try something else. So let's read the comment. I was interested in the out-of-body experience part, and the drawings at the end of visuals with eyes closed helped me with learning to meditate a little. Yeah, just keep it up. So you've had a taste, now you want to control it. Very good, you're on the right track. But remember, there's going to be people here who's never been out of body, never astral projected, never. Some people don't say they don't even dream, and some people say they have aphantasia. And among those people are going to be people who still do the gateway tapes, still try to astral project, still, do these practices. I used to be that kind of person. And there's something special about that too. There's something, you look back at that, it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. So it's not just being cool and having experiences. There's something to be said for these people as well, who have nothing and still they believe. And that's like, there's a quote in the Bible that goes exactly like that. Jesus says it, and it's like, yeah, that's fire. That's fire right there. That's Manipura. That's the thing that chakra needs to hear, and there's very nice energy. Anyways, last thing he said, yes, I did. Very helpful. I remember accidentally doing SAD lamp stuff when I was bored as a kid. It's fascinating how you can change the shape of the light spots with your mind. I didn't realize it helps with meditation in some way, and thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, it really helps, man. Oh man, it really helps. We're about to get into yantras, and it really helps with the yantras, and it really helps with creating this kind of world where you can astral project into. It helped me recently as yesterday, to open up a portal that went to essentially what they call Ketchara paradise. This stuff helps. And it's also something where, because of the nature of the experience, your void self, the thing that stays awake when you're just completely unconscious and helps you wake up in the morning if you forgot to set your alarm and stuff like that. It's like, hey, wake up, that thing can also react to it and be like, hey, wake up, the clear light is making colors for us right now, you have to see this, so and then, because that was what happened to me, and when I woke up, I saw the fractal that's supposed to take you to Ketchara paradise, and I looked at it and I realized it was wrong. But because I knew how to do the SAD lamp, control of the clear light, and build fractals, I just corrected it. And so it became the correct flower to enter into the Dakini land. And so I just astral projected there, and I got, treatment basically with hammam massage, and I got like needles, acupuncture. I talked about this in my last video because it happened recently. And this is not something that you can just believe. You have to experience it for yourself. And if you don't experience it for yourself, hey, at least try the Gateway tapes. At least, because if you get a taste, and I was right about that one, maybe he's right about the other stuff. So something of the most important thing I do is to make these drawings from first person view, where it's like seeing the world basically through my eye sockets. And this is something I'm going to continue to do. And if you like that, maybe you should follow and subscribe, because here, I can't make you believe, but I can try to draw that stuff, and I can make a promise to myself that I don't make videos on something that is just my imagination, unless I tell this one here I actually experienced, this one here, this is just my imagination. But your imagination, you're gonna find later as you get good. Remember, this is Dark Souls. This is a little bit tricky, but you just get good, and it's going to be okay. Later, you're going to find that actually Nirvana, at its best, it's your imagination.